What's up? I'm Borly Borelstein, and I'm in my Black Souls cosplay because today I'm reviewing Black Souls. So, if you don't know what Black Souls is, it is a hit RPG Maker hentai game. If you don't know what hentai is, it's anime porn. Yeah, that's right. So, if you don't know what RPG Maker is, it's basically a shitty top-down, turn-based RPG system with tile sets and everything where you can just drag and drop fucking things in the world to make your own little shitty RPG Maker game. Kind of like think of like a Pokemon or whatever, where you're looking top down at the character from like Red and Blue or some shit. So I watched a video on Black Souls and I thought, wow, that sounds really interesting. I can't wait to play this game. Everyone online is telling me how cool the story is and how amazing the game is, and it's such a good, phenomenal game, and the story's awesome. And I load into the game, and it's fucking dog shit. The combat is unrelenting, and not in the Dark Souls variety where you're going against these big scary enemies and you got to overcome challenges. No, we're in the RPG Maker system. This is a turn-based game. All I'm selecting from is, do I want to lower my enemy's attack or do I want to lower my enemy's defense? Whoop-de-fucking-do. Oh, then later on, I get it's like a party. There's slots for other people in your party. I didn't fucking get anybody because the fucking game sucked. I played the game for like 3 fucking hours, okay? And at no point did I see anything that resembled a story developing in any coherent fashion other than a fairy sucking me off for souls, which was, I don't know, I guess the highlight of the game. I don't really know. But yeah, so let's get into the mechanics of the game. So it's turn-based, and you have one of 3 classes. I read up online that these choices don't really matter because all the stats flatten out later on or whatever. So when you die, you get a black soul or whatever that you can use to increase all your stats really by a minuscule amount. And you kill enemies and you get souls, and you go to the guy and you just give him souls and you just level up, and the souls just directly convert into experience. So they've already failed step 1 of the Dark Souls game because you can't level up individual stats. You just give souls to a cat, and then the cat just turns the souls directly into experience, and then that levels you up. So first off, you already failed the character customization portion of the Dark Souls ripoff. Good job. Then we move on to weapon types. So I got like a sword, a bunker shield or some kind of sword or whatever. And that was cool because when you attacked, it would sometimes give you a defensive buff that reduced the damage you took. That was like the best weapon that I found. The great sword was just great dog shit. It was like great value sword, more like it, because it was just so shit. Sure, it had like 30 more attack, but I was still doing the same amount of damage with my sword and shield than I was with my great sword. So why would I ever use the great sword? Like, I don't, like, something is wrong mechanically. And I know RPG Maker isn't the best system, but like, you can fine tune that to make it work. And the dev just clearly did not give a fuck to even do that. So yeah, like I mentioned, it's a turn-based game, and if you have one party member, that means you get one action per turn, but sometimes there's 3 enemies. So that feels a little unfair, right? So to compensate for this, early on, you meet this little green fairy who's nice to you called Leaf, and you can summon her. So you have to spend your first turn summoning her to come help you, and then she's like, oh, I'll take care of things. Or if you summon her for a boss, she'll make like a funny comment about the boss. Clearly, every time you summon her, there's like a sinister edge to some of the things that she's saying. Clearly, she knows more than what's going on, and she's like some kind of like, I don't know, probably like end game boss or some fucking shit. Because like if you've played SMT3, Shin Megami Tensei 3, and there's like a little fairy character that's like always with you, or if you played Bravely Default, where the fairy flies, take out the F, or FL, where the, oh yeah, just take out the F, where the Airy, because the fairy's name is Airy, where the Airy lies, because the fairy that's following you the whole game is lying to you. Spoilers. Oh wow, another game where a fairy is following you the whole time, supporting you, and it turns out that they're actually lying to you. Oh my god, wow, good job guys, you really told me an original story. So yeah, that part sucks, but the fairy's pretty cool. She's got a magic attack and then she's got a healing attack. So really the game kind of forces you, like, you want to pick the knight class first off because you can get a ring that increases your aggro so that you take the hits and then the fairy can heal. But the healing is dog shit. So like I wouldn't even bother using it. Oh, that's another thing too, is that they have the Estus system where like you can use these potions to like half heal your health, but the translation is bad because the mana potion is labeled as healing health. Who cares? Whatever. Anyway, you can use those things, and that's cool. And they refresh when you go to a bonfire. Yeah, this game has bonfire warping the same way Dark Souls does, But here's the fucking kicker in the coffin with that. In Dark Souls, when you rest at a bonfire, the enemies that you killed respawn. In Dark Souls, when you rest at a bonfire, the enemies that you kill respawn. Also, when you kill enemies in Dark or in Black Souls, they respawn 5 to 10 seconds later as well. There's two enemies in this one spot, right? You kill one, okay, you get combat. Then you kill the next one, okay, you get combat. If you linger there for 2 more seconds, that fucking first enemy that you killed is respawning and gonna chase your dumbass down. And the combat is not hard in the game. It's just fucking tedious. It's like, oh, miss, 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 miss. Okay, I killed him. Oh, miss, miss, miss. Oh, I'm bleeding. Okay, cool. Like, the game must take pity on you because they gave me like 15 anti-bleeding things, but then every enemy makes me bleed. That's not interesting combat. I don't want to have to go into my inventory every fucking time, remove bleed. Bleed doesn't even fucking do much damage anyway. I think it only does damage in combat. Outside of combat, I think it does nothing. I don't even recall taking damage outside of combat for it, other than the poison ground that you lose 1 health a tick. Wow, how amazing. The strategic gameplay with that one. Really, if you're going to play this dog shit game, the only thing I can suggest is level up however you need to, and then go right after you go through the blacksmith area, wherever the fuck it is. No, it's in the Holy Forest. You go right, go to Ram Ranch and get hidden body, hidden little figures, and then that way you can stealth yourself and just run around the map with impunity without getting gangbanged by monsters every 5 seconds, because holy shit, this game is infuriating. Combat is not interesting, it's not engaging, it's not creative. I've played triple digit of RPG Maker games in my life, and I can go through I don't remember them, but I could go through and I could find 5 in my fucking hard drive right now that have better combat than this fucking game. So the combat's not good. The combat's ripping off Dark Souls, but you didn't recreate the character customization system of Dark Souls. Let's get on to the art then, I guess, right? So the art looks like a kid made it in like 5 seconds in MS Paint, like worse than me actually. And I'm fine with that. I think it's a cool aesthetic a little bit. But then you take the art and you remember that this is a porn game, and then you see like the most grotesque pixelated, like literally the color black cock that your character has when the fairy is riding it. Because when you level up, the game doesn't tell you this, the game jump scares you with this, but when you give souls to the fairy to level up Leaf, the Leaf's like, oh well, give them souls for me, big man, or whatever. And then this little fairy starts riding your cock and milking your prostate until the fucking souls come out. Because I bet souls are semen. But then when you summon Leaf, you have to give mana. So is mana also semen? Is semen souls and mana? What are the souls? What are they? But anyway, yeah, so every time you level up Leaf, you have to have her ride your cock and spurt out the white stuff to level her up. That's just how the fucking game works. I do not know why. Who cares? Whatever. And then every NPC you come across, you always have the option to either kill them or R-word them. And but like all the NPCs are like usually really strong, so you're probably not going to be able to overpower them because your character is like so pathetically weak for some reason. I have no idea why. Yeah, so I don't know, the game fucking sucks. I spent 3 hours on it. I was waiting for the cool story to happen. As far as I can tell, it's just like a really lazy ripoff of Dark Souls and just like every anime trope that I've ever seen repeated. So like if you've ever seen any other media, this story is not original, not interesting, and not creative. It's fucking boring. It's the worst thing anything that can be, and it's fucking boring. There's just not enough to go on. I think in their desperate attempt to mimic Dark Souls, very atmospheric storytelling, they really hamstrung themselves, because the problem is that in RPG Maker, you cannot create an effective atmosphere because you have a tile set of assets that are being used across multiple games. So my association with the assets used in this game are associated with other games, and I recognize the default tile sets and assets, and it really looks just shitty. You cannot create an effective storytelling atmosphere when your assets are coming up in other games. It just does not fucking work. It looks shitty. It just looks bad. It just looks bad. I don't have another way to say it. And I want to get to one last thing, which is that the positive reviews of this game. So I went over to F95. If you don't know what F95 is, it's a website where people post about RPG Maker games, porn games of all kind of varieties, right? And it's the only place online that really does this, so it's kind of interesting. And this game has a lot of positive reviews on F95, and I'm reading all the reviews, and I notice one theme among every positive review. It's that every person who's positively reviewing this clearly is English second language. And I'm not saying that to insult people that are ESL. What I'm saying is that the people who play this game are, one, English second language, and they're playing a game that is in English now. So they wouldn't be able to tell quality if it fucking bit them on the dick. And two, the game is free. You can just go there, download from the mega.nz, and then play the fucking game. So like their idea of quality is non-existent because they're not paying for anything. They're just getting a free fucking game, and they can't even read whatever the story is very well because they're ESL. So like, what the fuck? So yeah, Black Souls, complete disappointment. I invested like 3 hours of my time in this dog shit game. I ran all over the place. I went to Rotberg. I got one other sex scene. It was fucking boring and mid as fuck. Um, it fails in almost every front that it's trying to achieve. It fails in Dark Souls combat. Enemies respawn on the map 10 seconds later. It fails in RPG Maker combat because you have one character and it's fucking turn-based, so that's boring as shit unless you want to summon Leaf. But then that's boring as shit because Leaf is only like, oh, I mean, well, you level Leaf up, then she gets other abilities. But it's just more varieties of single target magic, AoE magic, single target heal, some other fucking heal, I'm sure, that comes down later that's AoE. Wow, how surprising. This is such an advanced and developed gameplay. Oh, but we stole names from Dark Souls, so doesn't that make it cooler? No, it does not add. You cannot steal the names of spells from another media source and then get the cool notoriety of that. That's not how like art works. You're just fucking like, I have something in my eye now, so I'm gonna end this review by just fucking screaming as loud as I can. Oh, just kidding. I fooled you. Ha ha ha, fooled you. Okay, anyway, if you like this game, fuck you. Fuck you for tricking people into liking this game too. If you've ever made a positive review of this game on YouTube, because I watched a positive review and I got tricked into playing this game and it fucking sucked. Fuck you.